he's good for you.
How do you know what's good for me?
That's my opinion!
Don't you get it? Why can't anybody have an opinion but you?
That I don't think that he's good. That I don't.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone is enjoying their Saturday. Good afternoon. It is great to see some of you have already joined me for a Saturday afternoon live. Thank you so much. Welcome into Sandra P's Gen Extra. Thank you so much. I'll greet the chat in a second. I just wanted to welcome you in. Thank you sincerely for being here. If you're already a subscriber, thank you. To my new subscribers, thank you as well. To people just come in and looking around until you decide to settle down, and we hope you do, welcome. And at least press the like button. And if you like what you see, then you can subscribe. I have a milestone that most new creators, growing creators like to get to, which is 1,000, but I won't share the time frame. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. So I'm going to go in and start with the comments. Ophelia Burkhalter, welcome in. Thank you. It is great to see you in the chat. Good afternoon, Sandra P and chat. Good afternoon to you too. I hope you're enjoying your weekend so far. It is great to see you. American Born is here. Ophelia is speaking to her. American Born, don't stay away from me. American Born, come in and take your seat. One of the two people that have a theme song, only because I was able to think of one. And I appreciate you being here, American Born, to help with the conversation. Thank you so much. Always appreciate it. Ophelia Burkhalter, American Born. Sharon Godbolt, thank you. It is great to see you. Good afternoon, Sandra P, Gen Extra, and chat. So she is smiling and speaking at everyone. I'm smiling and speaking back. It's good to see you live in the chat. She's speaking to everyone all together as a collective and then individually. So hello to American Born. Hello to Ophelia from Sharon. And they are speaking right back, Sharon. This is first season. It's In the City, episode 4, Sparks Fly. It's a play on words, and it's kind of what's actually happening. And everybody, I found out that they were shooting the reunion. So I don't know if they got a special reunion stage built or if they're in the clubhouse or maybe they went to Gavin's. I don't know, but we're only 4 episodes in. These people are already talking about a reunion. I always thought with Bravo, they shoot the reunions way too early. OWN does the same thing because Carlos King he's on whatever Bravo's on for the most part, in addition to more foolishness that he adds. So I am going to welcome everybody in, have a seat. If I see new people come in, I'll greet them, but we're just going to go ahead and start, and then I'll read comments as well. This was a pretty good episode. I mean, not too much happened, but enough to keep me interested, which is what I look for in a show. The world is crazy enough. The world is hurtful enough. So right now, I'm just on my mindless entertainment. Here is one of the moderators. She has come in and greeted everyone. Thank you so much for interrupting your weekend and joining us, Mama Bees. Great to see you. Hey, Sandra P, chat and mods. Thank you, Mama Bees. Thank you so much for joining us during the live. I appreciate it. Again, this is In the City, first one. So I don't know. We got 2 new shows with Bravo. So we have season 1 of In the City. We are familiar with some of the cast from Summer House. And then we have a new Housewives franchise, which is Rhode Island. And they're having 2 different experiences. I love Rhode Island. I'm not crazy about In the City, but it's kept my attention. Quick question. Are you going to do an extra about the Rhode Island Housewives looks? Yes, I do have it. I do have it. Q1 JTV sent it to me, and then also I saw them on Bravo. So I am going to do an extra on that. And then I'll add a few more topics at Bravo as well. Everyone's speaking to Mama Bees who came in and still speaking to each other. She's speaking back. So yes, American Born, thank you for the question. Great question. And yes, I will. So Kenny and Whitney are still at this dinner. And it was a really nice dinner until Whitney, she kind of had a snake face on, and Kenny could kind of read it, and she told him why. So he's now been put on notice that he can't just say any old thing to Kyle, because Kyle is a reality TV veteran. He has 10 seasons under his belt at Summer House. So Kenny, I could have told you for free, you can't be over there running your mouth to Kyle, because it will get back. He still shares stuff with old long face, long back Amanda. They still sit down to lunch. And like I said, if Kyle loves it, if Kyle likes it, I have to love it. I'm not worried about it. Kyle likes it, so do I. So we have Kenny and Whitney seated. The server interrupts them for their meal. And she wants to know, how did he come up with murky? How did he come up with no spark? Kenny is puzzled. He's shocked. Did I say murky? I didn't say murky. Production is showing us where he did say no spark, but he didn't say the murky thing. Whitney is allowing herself to be convinced. Did you say our future was murky? And then we see Andreas and Lexi talking about what he's saying tomorrow is murky. Kenny is now fixated on the word murky because he knows he didn't say that. So the food looked amazing. They continue eating, and Whitney is trying to look like she's going to hold Kenny's feet to the fire. Girl, let's be real. You are homeless. You have moved across country to live with this man. You shoot your content there, so that's where your income comes from. You're not going to press Kenny too much. I know she told the ladies, well, I'll move right back. No, you won't. I have to see it to believe it. Excuse me, everybody. I'm going off camera for 1 second, but we'll still continue. So she says, well, I don't know where this is all coming from. And Kenny is saying, well, I'm very protective of you. He takes his jacket off for some reason. I noticed that his shirt is unbuttoned all the way to the navel. He's got this little chain on. So Kenny's looking kind of good, y'all. He put some extra curls in his hair. He says, I want to get married. I want to have a relationship, but I'm still feeling like I'm in kind of a place where it's hard for me to get close to everyone. And then, y'all, he opened the big guns. He told Whitney, because this is my first birthday, that I'm unable to get a call from my mom. Y'all know Kenny had lost his mom. And Gavin had brought that up, that Kenny is using these different stages of grieving. Gavin is the guy that has the speakeasy that they all meet at and drink at. Hopefully not for free anymore. Kenny claimed he did. But I was all into this conversation because I don't know how I felt about Kenny using that. Like, I can't get a birthday call from my mom. Kenny, my heart goes out. I lost my mom a few years ago. I know how tough that can be. But Whitney wants to find out why you don't see a spark with her. I don't see it either, Whitney. And why you think the future might be murky. We know you didn't say that, but Andreas thinks you said it. So Kenny is now kind of weaseled his way out because Whitney's looking for a reason to forgive him. And she gets up and comes across the table to give the man a hug, y'all. So now they're just eating together again. And she said, she'd be so proud of you. Then we get a solo confessional from Whitney. Congratulations, because they've been doing joint confessionals. She says, well, I'm concerned that he might not want marriage, but that's what I want. And I'm trying to see him and have him pinpoint things and try to work through things. Whitney says Whitney has talked herself into forgiving Kenny. So I have to give it up to him for that. But I think she's homeless. She's moved cross country. And that's the reason why she gave up the goat so easy. He didn't say murky, but he did say you didn't have a spark. So we get all these different beautiful street scenes of New York. Kyle is the CEO of Loverboy, and he's trying to walk Riley. Riley ends up walking him. Kyle's saying, we're going down this street. Riley's like, no, I like this other street. And this is a small dog, y'all. So Kyle, you just let people run over you, huh? Amanda's walking you like a dog, and now Riley is too. So next we have Amanda's apartment, and we have Lindsay comes over. The place is still nasty, but her excuse now is that she's moving. So Gemma is there. Gemma's barefoot for some reason. Amanda's tickling her feet and Gemma's laughing. So American Born, we get another Gemma sighting. Gemma is probably my favorite character on this show. She's full of smiles. And even when she's yelling, it's a little bit funny. Those of you that are new, Gemma is Lindsay's 10-month-old baby. So there's another friend that comes in, Katie, to help her move. Lindsay is still being fed little by little the actual situation. Last Lindsay heard it was a 1-month lease. Now, y'all knew I said at the time, that's bull. New York, you're not getting a 1-month lease. If you live somewhere, they may allow you to continue month to month, but nobody's going to take a new tenant and give them 30 days to live there. It's just not happening. So Amanda is shocked that the place that I loved fell through, and now I can't stay there. And so it's a 1-year lease. So the interesting thing is, behind the scenes, we know that this lady doesn't really want a full 30 days. She wants a full year because she's already messing around with Wes. They are already together. So Amanda says, I'm still moving forward with a change of plans, but what I'm going to do, we're still going to date and get closer together. We're not single. Remember on the reunion, she was saying, I'm single. I was single. Now she's telling us she's not single. I don't know what this is going to mean for this show. Let me read the comments and I'll go back to this scene at Amanda and Kyle's apartment. Too much. I love Rhode Island also. Yes, Sharon, Rhode Island is amazing. It's a good watch, a fun watch. They have just enough conflict, but not too much. Homeless, not toothless. Whitney has beautiful teeth, but she's still homeless. That's right, American Born. Somebody called Dorit. Dorit might be homeless too, though. Homeless, not toothless. You notice how she hasn't said another word about that foundation after she used it all season for, well, the last season, kind of for clout. You're right. She isn't going anywhere. Yeah, I don't think she is either. I'm hearing in real time, maybe they already broke up. The YouTube streets and the Reddit streets, I think I've heard something about that, but Whitney doesn't really like her like that. And Sharon Gabo is giggling at American Born. Yeah, this is why I like this show. It's kind of light. I mean, the darkest part of it is Kyle and Amanda, but I've seen pictures of Kyle smile all over his face at Amanda and her shenanigans. So again, Kyle, I'm not going to try to defend you. If you like it, keep on. So Lindsay was right. You moved across the country without a ring. Thank you, American Born. Yet Kenny wanted to jump Lindsay. I'm sensing man-hating vibes. And Whitney getting upset defending her relationship. But she's right. She can't even stay mad at the man because she doesn't have anywhere to go. And they separated the dogs. I didn't like that either. Thanks a lot, Amanda. I didn't know that, American Born. I don't think that's great because I think she's only doing that either to hurt Kyle or to not look even worse to the audience. I don't think the lady loves dogs like that. Riley seems to me to be more of Kyle's dog. I can't remember the other one's name. They have 2 dogs, but that's kind of dirty to separate them. I did not know that. So, Amanda, you're just going to continue to be a terrible person. I'll think of one good thing to say about her. I know they're still saying that she works with Loverboy. I don't believe it. I don't think the lady works at all. So she is gaslighting Lindsay about moving out so that she can date and that they can get closer. Lindsay knows what that means, kind of. Lindsay's like making all her expressions and everything like that. And Katie comes in a little bit later, so they're packing up everything. Lindsay was saying, you can just order some of this stuff from Amazon. She was taking stuff like, I'm going to take the paper towel holder, stuff that costs like $5. And Amanda, you are pitiful. So she was really getting on my nerves. She's making all these stupid faces, sticking her tongue out. Amanda doesn't come across the way she thinks she does. I never liked her. I know some people thought she's the cool girl. I don't see it. So she says, we're supposed to be packing clothes for me to move into a furnished sublease, but now I'm basically vacating the apartment. She's in the confessional where she sits on the couch with her legs crossed in street clothes. Amanda, I don't think you're a very clean person. So this kind of got on my nerves. And Lindsay's helping her pack. Katie comes in. She's helping her pack as well. Yes, she only took the one. Yeah, I don't like that. Maybe you didn't like her either. Yeah, I don't like her either. I mean, we had Kyle as a foil. He was such a terrible husband. And I think she set up a lot of that too. That she could be the victim and he could be the bad guy. But now that we see that they're both bad guys, and I actually like him better than her, who do you take sides with? So Amanda is kind of giddy about moving out. She's saying, I hadn't really thought it through. She's lying. She's thought it through. We can actually tell that she is planning. And now that she has the next man lined up, which is Midwest or West TD, as he's known on the Reddit streets, of course, she's ready to go. So Gemma is going through everything for some reason as they're helping her pack. So I don't know if you would bring a baby to help you move, but Gemma was pretty fun. And Amanda was getting a kick out of her too. Amanda's labeling boxes. They're packing up dishes and all this kind of stuff. And I think most of it was just for a scene. And then also she's getting these ladies to actually help her move because the paper towel holder, that kind of got on my nerves. Gemma's actually in a box now, y'all. She's literally in one of the boxes. So y'all do not take over Gemma and take her. She's a trip. So Lindsay she knows how Gemma is. She's just ignoring her. The next scene we get with Yvonne and her husband, Nick, they are still discussing babies. The most interesting thing about her husband is that he is a furniture maker. He's a craftsman. He actually refurbishes, makes new furniture. But y'all, one of those wooden chairs he was making, it was like a bar stool type. It was beautiful. The thing cost $12,000. So Nick, you robbing somebody. But they're talking about these babies. They got married knowing that eventually she would want children. He seemed that he wanted it too. And he was saying, well, mainly I was talking about your clock ticking. Men don't have that problem. Y'all, we know that it may not be something that people really talk about, but men indeed have that problem. So you find an old man and then find that old man's baby and then come back to me and we will talk about it. Men do have that problem. So he's eating a hamburger. When she mentions it again, this man started almost choking. Let me look at a few comments. Yes, she wanted everyone to hate Kyle and enjoy being the victim. That's about Amanda, and I believe it. Ophelia says, oh, she's speaking to Sharon. And yes, Sharon came in, Ophelia. Even Gemma gives her the side eye. She does American Born. Gemma is funny with her little expressions. I just love her. She's the cutest thing. The best part of this show so far. So we get another kind of paint dry scene from Yvonne and Nick. Yvonne, take another trip so he won't know where you're at. So they're talking about this job that she used to have. She no longer works. And is kind of like lost as to what she's going to do next. This will be the perfect time for you to actually have a baby if that's what Nick wants, Yvonne, since you're not working. She said, I've always had a job, even when I was on the street corners selling cookies. Come on, Yvonne, not selling cookies. I don't know what she's talking about. But she said that she was in charge of one of the largest hospitality groups in the world, which is why when she does that whole dumb thing, I kind of don't buy it. I think she thinks the bimbo thing is cute, but Yvonne's a lot smarter than that. So that scene was a little bit boring. So next, we get to see Andreas. I love Andreas. He is the Italian who married Lexi. I think they're calling Lexi an interior designer, but Lexi was also a model at one point as well. They are visiting Gemma at Lindsay's house. Gemma is full cast. We thank Gemma's dad in that mediation for allowing her to be on the show. Lindsay said that he doesn't allow her on social media, but he does allow her to do the show. So thanks, Gemma's dad. She is, they're supposed to be visiting her. She's still laying down, but they can hear her kind of stirring through the monitor. So Lindsay's listening. She's like, I don't know if she's up yet. Sometimes it's just a false alarm. And Jim is making her little noises or whatever. And then she cries out. So they're like, oh, okay, she's actually up. So they go and get her. But what they're doing is Yvonne and Nick are there to visit Gemma because they're considering having children as well. And Lindsay thinks that, well, Gemma's the kind of baby that you will show her to people and they would actually want a baby. So Gemma's she's one of the good ones. So I thought that was really sweet. I thought that was a cute scene. Next, we get to meet this country singer that Lindsay is going with. Lindsay, are you still dating? So I don't know. I don't know who this guy is. She says they met through, he was supposed to sing at the wedding with the wedding that she had with Carl, that Carl called off and she was so bitter about for so long. Now they're pretty good friends. Some people think that Carl wants her back, or maybe she wants Carl back. I don't know. I like their friendship. I like their friendship. I think Carl is saying he's single and he's dating. So we also get a scene with Big Head OUIN, him and Danielle. She's telling him how it went when she went out with Lindsay. She is saying that Amanda is not going to get all these apologies that she gave to Lindsay because her and Lindsay have always butted heads, but there's a certain level of respect. Now, I don't care for Danielle, but I'm here for Danielle giving it to Amanda and her long face, long back, any chance she gets. And I like the fact that she let us know straight out, no, I'm not apologizing to Amanda for anything. Production shows us the scene where Kyle has the nerve to say, well, since you gave an apology to Lindsay, what about giving her apology? And Danielle saying flat out, no, I'm not doing that. She said, I don't owe Amanda an apology just because Lindsay got one. I feel like Amanda may owe her an apology. I don't really know what the problem is between them, but I know production showed a scene. They were playing one of those house games on Summer House. Which housemate do you trust the least? And Danielle thinks about it for a second and says, Amanda. And Amanda's like, what? So I'm glad that somebody clocked this lady early on. A lot of people are saying that they did clock her, but I don't know. Mama B says the show is not giving for me. Amanda and Kyle's story is getting old. Yes, Mama B's, it is getting old, which for reality TV makes for stale. And then a lot of it, I feel like, is they're trying to trick the audience. And I don't like that. I don't think they have a right to do that. Again, this is Bravo. This is not a dumb audience. So we see you, Kyle. Kyle doesn't want her to come out of this hated. I know since they were married for 4 years and together for 10, he has a certain amount of feelings for her, but he can't expect us to not have feelings for her. And I don't need to see him giving speeches or lectures anymore. Don't go so hard on Amanda. We're going to do whatever we want with Amanda. And she'll just have to deal with it or get off TV. So the country singer, I don't know. I've never heard of this guy, Dustin. He evidently has his own plane. He has invited Lindsay out, but she's never been on his plane. So she wants to fly on the plane. He's like, I've actually done that before. And she's like, with another girl? I'll kill you. Lindsay's kind of acting too. Lindsay is a little over the top, but I think it's okay. But it's a little bit too much. And like Mama B said, it's not really giving. So in the city cast, we don't need you to do all this, okay? I mean, we'll watch it. We'll watch, but we don't need her to do all that. And I'm going to share some stuff from Bravo.com and the Reddit streets about them, because this review, again, a lot happened, but not really. It's just a lot of going to different scenes and talking. AB says, after Scandival, that season after was the end. So I guess we will see. Maybe just bring Sierra and Mia on in the city next year. Yeah, this new group of friends are not really working. And Sierra and Mia, I do love. I also love KJ. I don't mind Jesse Solomon. Jesse is going to be on tour. I don't mind him. I like Carl. I see people in the Reddit streets or Skid Row calling Carl all kind of old. Now, him and Kyle are around the same age. They're calling Carl all kind of old. So 41 and 43, I don't think that's old. It's too old to be going away for the summer and being dead drunk the whole summer. And in the city, it's supposed to be about their actual lives and working and that sort of thing. So yeah, AB, I'm with you on the cast changes. I'd like to see what they're going to do. Now, I'm going to bring up during the scene, Lindsay has a lot of cool friends. There is a scene, there's a black couple named Sammy. I can't remember her name. But I'm like, oh, they're cute. How come they're just in the background? And we're not seeing enough Gavin. I see people talk about Gavin on Threads. One lady said, the short king, that's my man. So Gavin has his share of people that would like to see him. He's messy. He's willing to get into it. He's supposed to be best friends with Kenny, but Kenny seems more of a user to me. Yeah, Carl should have been on the show as well. Yeah, I don't understand how you have Lindsay and not Carl. I mean, we know they're not together, but Carl has a business as well in New York that he's working on. His sobriety, that's something a lot of people relate to and root for him on. So I would love to see Carl on In the City if you're going to stick with the Summer House cast. I don't want to see long back Amanda. I just don't. So Amanda is having a scene with Kyle. So Kyle, he's sitting down there having a conversation about her new apartment. She said her building used to be the JP Morgan building. Banking, financial industry, they had so much real estate in New York. And you can't convince me that's a big part of why they were mad at people being remote and wanted them back in the office. So they are converting a lot of those of a certain tax bracket into housing. But when it gets to middle class or working class, then they lose the capability to do that. But that's just an aside. But that's what they're talking about. I'm sure it's a beautiful building. We couldn't really see it. They had the scaffolding up when old Midwest was there last week with our beautiful Sierra. So she's saying, I finally have the keys. So the move will be happening like this week. I can't stand to listen to Amanda or watch her talk. So she's moving for good. And Kyle says, does it feel weird? She said, it doesn't feel weird. It's not been an easy decision for me. Amanda, you lying. This is an easy decision. Now that you have another boyfriend lined up who you feel like can't leave you right now because he doesn't want to be hated, now you're ready to go. So we find out that Kyle, you're a fool. Kyle's not going to have any keys to this apartment. And he needs to call before coming over. Kyle, I'm just looking at Kyle, look at her when she said that. And he said, so you're going to keep a key to our apartment? Now it's still our apartment. She says, yeah, I'm going to keep a key to your apartment. And y'all, in the Reddit streets and also on one of Kyle's interviews, he said Amanda still got a ton of stuff over there. And y'all know how she lived like a hoarder. So she left all the junk she wanted, took all the good stuff, and her and West TD are over at her new place, swinging from the chandeliers. Kyle, you a fool. But again, I can't get mad for you, Kyle. You don't mind. AB says, and she has that trust fund to fall back on as well. So miss me with the fake act. Yeah, American Born, she's not a young single girl scared in the city and trying to date her husband. We know that for a fact. This girl's the biggest liar. I think that's why she lost the audience, because I don't mind rooting for people if they're leaving a bad marriage, but that's not what is going on here. She had the next man lined up and she's moved on with him, so I don't love it. West TD was just caught out with another woman. That is quick, American Born. I know he's over there at that podcast showing his whole tale. I'm not even going to get into some of the stuff he was saying over there. So I feel like, of course, now that Midwest has another man, I think Amanda, we're going to see what she's going to do to try to one up Sierra. I don't watch Love Island. I can't get through the show. There's too much going on and it comes on every day. I can't commit to every day or I'd be watching Beyond the Gates. But we know Sierra is hosting one of the after shows and they had some other kind of news or they're trying to be seen anytime Sierra does something. So, Kyle, leave us alone with this. We can't stick up for you if you are allowing this. So the next scene, we see the groups get together, they go out for a drink, and Andreas is grilling Lindsay about the country singer. He seems like a nice guy. Who is this? Georgina is there. She's a dermatologist that also does the Botox and all that stuff. Sam and Amy are the black couple. Are we going to see more Sam and Amy? AB says, I'll be watching the after show with Sierra. I think it's on today, maybe. That's a thought. Maybe I'll just watch the after show too, because the Love Island thing, you can't escape it culturally. Everybody's talking about it, but I just don't see myself sitting down there and watching it every day. Now, I'm familiar with Olandria and Nick, so Nick Olandria, I think that whole thing is cute. But I don't see anything where I'm going to pick up this season other than to support Sierra. So Sam and Amy aren't on the show, but we see them like getting along with everybody and talking. Gavin comes in. We see him time to time talking amongst the different groups. It's easy for him to do that. Bravo, we see you. This is New York. This shouldn't look like Seinfeld. And I don't like when people that put out these shows do this. Like, we don't belong there. Clearly we do. So Whitney couldn't make it tonight. She has an event. Production shows her back at the apartment shooting content about gluten-free bread. And she's literally showing people. And then I just take it with a little butter. Girl, you couldn't do anything other than toast this gluten-free bread. And it looked hard as a rock. She's paint drying. Bye, Whitney. If I were Kenny, I'd just go ahead and put her out. The dog is interrupting the shoot. He's scratching and breathing real hard. So the dog was more interested in you, Whitney. So they are in kind of like an outdoor type area in the bar, because the ladies have on coats and they're like shivering. So Gavin is talking to the rest of the group about, he didn't know that Kenny met Whitney on one of those online sites. And Gavin's like, I thought you met her through like friends of friends of friends. So to me, with Gavin being Kenny's best friend, that means that Kenny is a liar. So I think Kenny's actually out there searching on who would be a good fit for the show. And since Whitney is Bachelor Nation and she would jump at the chance to come to New York and be within a friend group and on another show, I think it was almost like central casting, honestly, because he and Lindsay don't even like each other and they seem to have more spark than Whitney and Kenny. So he's left Whitney home to shoot content. American Born says, I like the Love Island UK better, but the USA cast is awful. They don't have a star this season. I think with Nick Olandria, I don't know if they're going to be able to match that. That's kind of like lightning in a bottle, but I don't know. I'm not familiar with anybody they have on in this year. I'm with you, Sandra P. I can't get into Love Island. Yeah, Sharon Gabo, they want too much of a commitment. Like I said, if I'm going to watch something every day, I would have picked up Beyond the Gates. I started out watching it, then I was like, oh, okay, every day. Then I had like 30 of them saved. And then I was just like, okay, I'll just have to watch reviews or something. But I'm happy for Clifton Davis and Tamara Toomey. I think it's great. Keith Anderson joined the show, so that's good. I love the cast last year, but this year, not so much. Oh, AB, I think they were kind of looking for another Nick Olandria situation. I don't think they'll be able to reinvent that. So Kenny, I started out, if you watched episode 1 of my review, I was kind of dragging Kenny. I'm still going to drag Kenny because I think Kenny is a liar. I think Kenny is a clout chaser, and I think Kenny likes to argue with women. But Kenny is actually engaging. Kenny had me laughing because he started complaining that, well, Whitney and I, we had a great dinner until she told us that the girls went out. Now he's talking to Lexi, and she's like, oh, I had to tell her that as a friend. Georgina's sitting there looking. Andreas is over with Lindsay, the country boyfriend, and somebody else. I think Yvonne was sitting there. And Lexi is saying, we had to tell her that. Georgina and I were walking in the park, and then we brought it up. The fact that you think the relationship is murky, and we felt like she needed to know. Kenny's saying, I never said murky. I never said we didn't have a spark. Spark came up, but I was speaking with Kyle. And instead of people just gossiping. They need to be a man. And I'm like, be a man? Wow. I don't know where Kyle was at, but he was also speaking to Andreas because production shows us a scene. They had one of those boys' night out when Kenny actually said that about he doesn't really know about their relationship status, even though she moved to New York. She's the sweetest girl, but you got to figure out where it's going. Kenny, you were kind of unsure, even if you didn't say murky. So Lexi's getting kind of mad. He's my husband. I tell him everything. So between the girls' night out and the boys' night out, they all started talking about Whitney and Kenny's relationship. And Kenny is saying, I would just like people to not speak on my relationship without speaking to me about it first. And so Gavin is saying, speak of the devil, because here come Andreas, because Kenny started getting a little bit animated. And Lindsay was noticing too. Let's see. AB says, I like Gavin way better than Kenny. Yeah, I like Gavin's way better than Kenny too. He's messy and he's moving the story along. Kenny is more confrontational. That does get stuff started, but Kenny, you don't have to be pointing and gesturing in people's face, because he was so animated to the point where Andreas, even though he was in a conversation with Lindsay and her new boyfriend and Yvonne, he was like, what's going on over there? So when he came up, Gavin's like, oh, wow, speak of the devil. Gavin took his cap off, y'all, so it was getting serious. So he says, did I say that my future with Whitney was murky? Did I say it had no sparks? Yes or no? Andreas is saying no. Kenny says, see. Gavin said, wow, what are we talking about then? Gavin stirring the pot on both sides. So somebody said, it's a game of telephone. I think it was Gavin. It's a game of telephone. Who brought up the lack of spark in the relationship? Kenny said, I used the spark word because I was talking to Kyle about it. And then Andrea says, well, I got it from Kyle, but murky, I don't know. Now, I'm going to defend my sweet Andreas. English is Andrea's second language, so there may not have been an Italian word that he could pinpoint, either spark or murky, which he didn't say murky. So I'm going to give Andreas grace on that. Kenny, not so much. Kenny wants to argue about it, and he's kind of upset about it. He said it is BS. He never said that the future was murky, and he's getting kind of animated. Lindsay and everybody in the bar is kind of looking over there, trying to figure out what's going on. So the argument was kind of interesting. Again, I couldn't figure out if they were in Gavin's speakeasy or not. So let's see. We next get a scene where they argue to the point where Andreas is like, I'm not going to stay here and listen to this. I'm going to leave. I'm going to get up and leave. And he and Lexi were storming out. And Lindsay was just happy that it wasn't her. So I thought that was a pretty good scene. It was interesting because Kenny, to me, was doing a lot when he was telling Andreas, be a man and all this kind of stuff. Andreas is a man. Kyle is a man as well. Kenny, you're a man as well. And all three of you gossip. So I don't know. Kenny, I think, is looking for kind of an argument. And then in some of his confessionals, I think he knows that he's going to get attention. He's going to have the cameras on him if he gets something started and then keeps it going. But because the show is a little bit dry, especially outside of the Summer House people, I think Kenny is just trying to throw things against the wall to see what sticks. But Kenny, we really don't care about you and Whitney like that. We really don't. So let's see. The next scene of Kenny, Whitney, and Gavin are meeting. So Gavin wants to talk more about the situation that happened that night. But first he ends up getting, he's like, I'm into all sparkling things now. So he was funny. He had like sparkling water, and then he wanted sparkling champagne in his, to make a mimosa or something. So Kenny was like, you're sparkling now. I think I'll get the same thing. So they get the same thing. And so Kenny starts talking again. He's upset about people discussing his relationship. And Gavin is saying, well, I feel like you maybe are used to a little more things going on, maybe arguments, maybe a little more toxic. And she's more of a sweet girl. She just keeps things smooth. And I thought that Gavin, I don't know why he would think that Kenny would want a relationship like that. Whitney's looking at him like he's crazy. And she's like, I haven't seen you in a while. He said he's been busy. And so he said, well, I'm going to drink this sparkling stuff and try to get my spark back. So Gabby is kind of picking at Kenny, but he said, and by the way, brother, I hated that whole conversation. And Kenny's saying, well, I like Andreas and I like Lexi, but I'm going to get to the bottom of this. Whatever, whoever said what. So that means Kenny, you want to sit down with Kyle? Do you want to sit down with the star of the show? So that's what Kenny is doing. All this hand movement and stuff too. So I think Kenny knows how to get the cameras on him. So he said, if I were to say the future is uncertain, I didn't say it was murky. And Gavin says, well, anybody in a new word relationship, remember, they've been dating less than a year. And Kenny's had a lot of upheaval during that year. He has lost his mom. And, you know, he's 42, 40 as well. I don't know if he's 40, but he's 40s. So I don't think it really is in a place for a relationship. They do the telephone game again about where Spark came from and where Andreas got it from. Andreas got it from Kyle. And Gavin says again, did you say the comment? Whitney's saying it was taken out of context. Now, Whitney has changed completely. She is actually taking up for Kyle now. So he said, well, Andreas, when you say the spark word, he's speaking about something totally different. So I just feel like, Whitney, you are a little boring. And I don't think that you want to keep this conversation going because Kenny might realize that he doesn't really have spark with you. Gavin's saying, well, I think I've known you a long time, brother. And I feel like you're saying that you just want a little more passion from her, a little more something from Whitney. Whitney's sitting right there in between the two of them looking stupid. Kenny's like, that's not what I want from Whitney. And yeah, Gavin, Whitney might be, I don't know, peace to him. I don't know. P-E-A-C-E, peace. I just think she's boring. Whitney's not going to keep a lot going. Whitney's not a Lindsay, but Kenny might like a Lindsay top. We don't know. So production shows us pictures of a very young Kenny and Gavin. So they do have a pretty long history. I like this. So Gavin gets a confessional. He says, I know Kenny's feeling insecure about his relationship. Gavin, in your confessional, if we're going to get more time on you, I don't need you to discuss Kenny and his relationship. We want to know what's going on with you. But Gavin's talking about Kenny. Kenny likes excitement. Kenny likes travel. Kenny likes things to be perfect. But relationships can be kind of boring. So Whitney is trying to explain her case again that either Kyle or Andreas misspoke. But girl, I think that he did say that y'all don't have a spark because you don't have a spark to me. I have a hard time watching Whitney. I don't know why they think we want to see all these bachelor people over here. But like Mama B says, it's not really giving. So Gavin's in his confessional saying, I think Kenny wants more of a roller coaster. Kenny's back at the bar with Gavin. He's saying, that's not what I want. I don't want a toxic relationship. So at this time, here comes the waitress with all of this food. And he says, I know you feel like people are coming at you, but just answer the question. Now, Gavin, you're doing a lot. What's going on with you and your relationship? Whitney's sitting up there eating fries and watching the two of them kind of go at it. So Gavin's like, put your weapons down. I'm on your side. And Kenny says he's still kind of animated from last night. I was attacked by virtually everyone in the place. I'm tired of defending this relationship and tired of defending how I feel about this person. Kenny, this person, you mean Whitney? I think Kenny doesn't really like Whitney that much. I think he likes the idea that she's in Batch Nation and she's a tall brunette and pretty if you like that type. And I think that's what it is. I think he likes the optics of a Whitney more than actually Whitney. I think if he could pull a Lindsay, he actually would have went in that direction, even with her having a 10-month-old baby. That's just what I think. So he says that Gavin knows him better than anybody in the group. He's his best friend, and he doesn't want him to start piling in on him. So Kenny's in his confessional a total victim. He always feels like he's attacked. I don't really see that Kenny was attacked. I think that when he puts it out there, he's direct, and Gavin mentioned that Kenny's direct. So Kenny is direct, but he doesn't want people to be direct back at him. Kenny in his confessional saying, Gavin and I have known each other a long time. This is the first time I'm sensing some real animosity or jealousy coming from Gavin. Kenny, I didn't see any of that. Production, please show us a little more about what was going on between the two of them. So he says, listen, I'm just going to take a breather. They were back at the bar. He gets up and walks out while Whitney and Gavin are still having lunch. So Gavin ends up kissing Whitney on the cheek, and then they continue to sit there. And I think there's some cracks in that friendship. I mean, I mentioned that to y'all, I think episode 1 and 2, when I talked about it. I think that there are some cracks in the Kenny and Gavin friendship. I don't know. Kenny, what are you trying to do? You trying to trade up? You feel like Gavin's not a cool enough friend? I like Gavin. I think he's a cool friend. He owns a speakeasy. And not just that, he seems like a nice guy. And you've been in each other's lives for a long time. So let me get back to any of the questions. That is the end of the notes, everybody. But like I said, they did shoot the reunion maybe yesterday, and there are some updates. So, and this is a pretty short review because like I said, not too much happened. So we're right at 40 minutes. I like to do an hour when I can, but that basically is the review. That's the end of the episode. And let me see if there's anything else. I can't remember the preview, but I do know that Gavin and Kenny they're gonna butt heads a little bit. So let me read these comments and then we'll go back. Kenny loves the cameras. I can tell. And you know what, American Born, he's already had one of the Bravo channels. I think it's Bravo Bros, something like that. I saw Kenny's first interview. Because when you're in the YouTube streets or you're on Threads or anything, a lot of people do not like Kenny. They think he's doing too much and that he's possibly clout chasing. Remember episode 1 in his confessional, I called him out the way he spoke about Kyle. He's a little bit of a lush. What do you mean a bit of a lush? All of y'all are drinking. When you see each other, it's social. So are you going from Summer House or something else you're trying to tell us? But I wouldn't say that about somebody who brought me on a show. And AB's Sharon Gobble is saying to American Born, I agree. Yeah, Kenny does love the camera. So we do agree on that with Kenny. He does love the camera. So let me go. The episode, it's mid. It's mid. I don't want to be harsh on it. They're all wearing my first season cloak of immunity. I'm getting ready to snatch it off everybody and just let Gemma wear it, but she doesn't need it. She's such a sweetheart. So let me give this episode, I want to give it a 6 so bad. I'll give it a 6.5. Maybe round up to a 7. It wasn't great though. Okay, so they did shoot the reunion. Let me go in here and show this. And then I think there's a couple more topics I had on that. So Danielle Oliveira and Whitney Francois share candid thoughts on the season 1 reunion in the city. All right, let's see. You give it a 5. Oh, it's a low number for me this episode. AB didn't give the number yet. Y'all gonna need extra credit in the city. I wanted to give it a 6. I gave it a 7, but Sharon is just honest. She gave it a 5. It was very mid. And honestly, Sharon, 5 is a mid score. I mean, that is just fair. They did get a 5, so I can understand that. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I thought I had my camera off. I was just wiping. I use these refreshers because when I start to get sweaty, I have to take care of it right then. But I don't like to show products or anything because I don't get anything for these, but these are the glowing wipes and they have witch hazel on them. It just freshens me up. So let's see. Danielle says she expected in the city reunion to bring clarification on her relationship with Owen. That is someone's husband, Danielle. So reunion or not, I don't really care how she spends it. This man is a married man. And then now we know in real time, she's carrying his baby. Mama Bees told me that a couple of extras ago. And then I saw it in the YouTube streets and also down on Skid Row in Reddit. So we're going to get updates from her. Updates on Amanda in Midwest. We don't want Midwest over here on this show. I didn't like seeing him last episode. I didn't really love that they pulled Sierra into the mess. I don't like it. So the group maintains genuine care despite potential conflict. She advised boyfriend Owen to be honest, authentic, and open during the reunion, emphasizing that sincerity is key. We know she does have reunion experience under her belt. Danielle's from Summer House. So Whitney felt both nervous and excited ahead of her first reunion as the cast prepared to reflect on a season focused on major life transitions. I don't think Whitney and Kenny are together by this reunion. We've already heard it on the streets. We'll see what they admit to. The Big Apple crew is ready to tell all in the city, gathered in New York City on June 11th to film. That was actually Thursday, the season 1 reunion. So they sat down with the reunion host, Andy Cohen. Andy Cohen, you're not going to groom anyone else or bring them up to actually do these reunions then, are you? You're just going to keep doing them. And I don't think he's particularly great at them. He's been better since he's gotten so much criticism, but I really think they can transition to more people being able to do reunions. But before the reunion, Danielle was already reflecting on the show's debut season and the cast's emotional dynamics. She spoke to BravoTV.com ahead of the taping to share her thoughts on the big day. Days after Danielle spoke with us, Whitney appeared on Watch What Happens Live with Andy before the sit-down taping to reveal how she was feeling ahead of her first reunion. I'll just have to say it, y'all, I did not watch Whitney on Watch What Happens Live. Again, I find her boring. It's almost like I'm watching paint dry when I'm with her. There's Danielle. You should be familiar with Danielle because she's on Summer House. There's Whitney. If you're a part of Batch Nation, she was over there doing that. So Whitney, we don't really care. Okay, let me see what else. I feel like there was something else that I had. Kyle has a comment about old long back. Let me see what he's talking about.
Me and Amanda laughing and smiling as we walk out from the In the City reunion. It was a pretty chaotic, action-packed reunion for a season 1 show. You guys have a lot to look forward to, not only in the season, but the reunion. Amanda was in the hot seat, and she opened up a lot more than I would say she did in Summer House. I was in the hot seat. A lot of people were in the hot seat. And we all decided to go get a drink together, kind of like group therapy, after you kind of leave it all out there. And Amanda and I were heading down the elevator, walking out the door, and just kind of laughing. Like, can you imagine if there's a photographer that captures us walking out together, and then boom, that's exactly what happened. And that caused us to laugh even harder. And yes, that's all there was to it, guys. That's all there was to it. My God. All right. Some of you have your tinfoil hats on. So I'm going to respond to the picture of me and Amanda laughing and smiling as we walk out from the...
Not a tinfoil hat, Kyle. Don't do too much. We just Bravo-holics. We enjoy the shows and we're keeping up. Not the tinfoil hat. I didn't know he said that first part, Kyle. Let me read some of the comments and then I'm going to say a few things to Kyle. Because Kyle he getting a little out of control. Somebody says they only got a reunion because of the scandal. I agree. So he better be glad we're talking about him because this show, honestly, I don't know. All things being equal, I don't know if they'd be back without a scandal. Kyle, you're on thin ice. Somebody wrote that in caps. We brought Loverboy out of debt and we could put it right back in it if you keep acting out, my guy. Ooh, these people are not playing with Kyle. I didn't like how he sounded and what he said, but I'm not going to threaten his business. I don't buy from Loverboy, and I wouldn't wear the merch anyway. Now, if I go to the cast event and they want to give me something, y'all, Fan Fest, the tickets for Watch What Happens Live, they have a filming on Thursday night and Friday night, and sometime in October. They were over like $300. I'm not paying that. I didn't get that. If they have the bracelet, I didn't check the bracelet cost yet, just to go to all the events and the panels and all that. I'll more than likely do that like I did in Vegas, but Andy, I don't like you that much to be paying $300 just to go to a Watch What Happens Live taping when they're free if you go to New York. Forever thankful. He's such a chatty Cathy. Yeah, Kyle being able to. Now, I do find Kyle charismatic, and he does keep me like interested. But for him saying, take your tinfoil hat on, I don't have a tinfoil hat on. I'm just interested in what is going on within the city because of the Summer House tie-in and the scandal. But yeah, don't get too cute. Oh my God, people are being insane over that photo. It's truly not that serious. Girl, we don't really care like that. What are you talking about? I believe him. It was just a moment of laughter between two people who used to be married. They are still married. I don't like this little slide that they're trying to give Amanda. We're not going to let you slide long back. We know that you have consulted an attorney. You're still married to this man. He's still your husband. I don't care if you're over there in Italy spitting olive pits into West mouth or not. Okay. Somebody said, what happened to his eye? Somebody answered Botox. I don't know. That's all allegedly and in my opinion. Okay. So Kyle, it's kind of mixed. Let me go back to the scores. Sharon had given it the 5. Yeah, this is episode 4 and they already got a 5. And like Mama B says, they're not really giving like that. So Kyle, you better be glad we're talking about you. AB's laughing. The fans can be brutal. Yeah, this fan group is really brutal. Somebody should have told poor K. Michelle Puddin having a tough time. But I don't know. I'm still hopeful Puddin can pull through. We'll see. Wow, $300. Yeah, Sharon, it ain't worth it like that. It's in Charleston. So travel costs wouldn't really be anything. And of course, I'd spend the night in the hotel. I love Charleston. So I'd be excited. I might even go to one of Leva's places. They said she owns 6 or 7 joints on King Street. And there's a lot of surrounding activities. So not watch what happens live. I've already pretty much ruled that out. But the fan experience, Fan Fest, definitely. And I think they have listed all the people that are coming. Portia's coming. So maybe I'll get a picture with Portia instead of just her moving away from me. Yeah, that's a lot. I agree. Sharon has scored it. She giving it a long back. You know, I love to call Amanda long face, long back. And he seems like he's trying to pull the audience up off her. But Kyle, they're not going to get up off her unless they focus on someone else. And it sounds like some of them want to whack you a little bit. She said, we pulled Loverboy out of debt. We could put it back in. Now, lady, you don't need to put his company in debt. Yes, go to Leavers and take some pics. That's a good idea, American Born. I would definitely do that. And there'll be a lot of other Bravo fans that I can go with or hang with. I don't have anyone that I know that I'm going with yet, but that is definitely something that I can do. Okay, so that was Kyle's comments on long back. Let me see what else. That was Threads. Oh, there was a comment that I liked. Let me pull this one back up. This was from Threads. I'll pull this comment up because the fans, and it's not even mixed. It's kind of getting a little more against him. So Kyle needs to be careful. Kyle's stage photos are not going to win me over that Amanda should be back on Summer House, especially when Amanda keeps doing things on big days for Sierra. And at this point, it's quite obviously on purpose. Kyle can treat Amanda like a baby if he wants to, because why are you laughing at the funniest thing known to man when your interview just came out and you were talking about her boyfriend can come pick up her stuff? You're losing me. Yeah, y'all, in that People magazine, he's like, she still got a ton of stuff at my apartment and she got a boyfriend now. He can come get her stuff. He's talking about Midwest. Midwest is over there on that Dusty Leg podcast. He's not trying to help that girl move. All of this, someone said, and suddenly Kyle is funny to her when she almost always felt annoyance from him. Can't fool me, but she seems to have manipulated the masses again. Not the masses, just Kyle. Just Kyle. Because she said on a reunion, I don't like going out with Kyle. Because Sierra was like, you're out every night. You go out. Well, I never said I didn't like going out. I don't like going out with Kyle. And Kyle started crying. But Kyle, now you're laughing. So I guess I'd rather see you laugh than cry. I don't like to see people cry. Kyle was already on thin ice with his inability to self-regulate. If he centers this bat-ish lady, her WW tears, y'all, that means light woman, bright woman, white woman tears, and their toxic nonsense. He's done in my book. There are a million other reality shows to watch. I only come back and stay Summer House for Sierra. Exactly. Looking forward to seeing Sierra and Mia again. Exactly. He definitely lost his redemption era. He just started the redemption era. Ooh, they're not playing. AB, you said it. These fans are brutal. Kyle, you're losing them. You're losing them. Somebody bring Kyle back to life. Kyle, Amanda is a sinking ship. Don't go back with her. Because honestly, this show has got some shaky legs. It's mid. The two of you gave it a 5. I gave it a sympathy 7 because I wanted to give it a 6. That's still a failing grade. That's failing. See, Kyle better pack that up and have it delivered to her apartment. He better. All that packing Lindsay and them were doing, Jimmy was actually in a box. So really, I don't know. This is a mess. Kyle? Let's see. I think that was all the Summer House stuff we have. Let me pull up Bravo. So when I pull up Bravo, I think they had something about who was going to Fan Fest. I didn't watch the Southern Hospitality. There wasn't enough on that for me to even like do a review. West is on Bravo. He's talking about his trip to Italy. West, we don't care. We don't care about your family's wedding. We don't care anything about that. All right, let me see what else they had. News. There's Dorit and PK news, but I don't know. She's saying it's her and PK are dating other people. Dorit, that's usually how it works when you get a divorce. We don't really care about that. But another criticism I have for the episode, let me just go ahead and show y'all the picture since it's right there. Another criticism I have, I mean, they have all of these, seem like cool friends that I'd like to be introduced to, and they're still keeping focus on this core group, which they haven't really sparked my interest. I'm not really interested in them like that. I don't really care about them like that. So this is the picture they're talking about. Oh, that person might be right, y'all. That looks a little staged. Look at Gavin pointing. He's standing there with Whitney. Whitney, is that dress see-through, girl? What? He's standing there with Whitney. Where's Kenny? I know Kenny would have been all up in the camera. Y'all, they might be broken up. So this is after the reunion. They all went out to get drinks. Longback doesn't look too bad there, y'all. So West is putting a smile on her face. She's happy. Kyle, I'm not going to believe your tears next time. Okay, let's see. Key takeaways. Bravo's new series in the city highlights relationships, careers, major life decisions among a New York City-based friend group. Again, my criticism is it doesn't really look like New York to me. Sprinkling in Kenny and sprinkling in Gavin is not going to do it for me. Danielle's looking pretty good. They don't show her body. Mama B's that mentioned that she is pregnant, but I don't know how far along she is. Lindsay's looking good. Go, Lindsay. I wonder if Katie will show up at all. Oh no, I'm not gonna sign in front of everybody. Let me remove that. Thought I was already signed in. I will watch the reunion. I know for a fact they don't have enough material to get 3 parts. So we'll see what they're gonna do with that. They don't have enough material for 3 parts at all. Even 2 parts. I think they can squeeze it into a 1-part reunion. But again, I don't know what else they're going to do for the rest of the season because this little argument that they had, that can't stretch out the whole season. I know Gavin and Kenny are going to have some conflict as well. Okay, I got a code. But I'm definitely going to watch it because even though we're only 4 episodes in, I'm going to finish and then I'm going to watch and review, of course. We'll talk about it together. I think it's worth watching. Okay, it says Summer House episodes to watch before in the city. Oh, I should have watched this before. So they gave a little update. They're really trying to, oh, I'm sorry. Let me bring that back, everybody. They were trying to introduce people to this show. So from the Weekend Escape at Summer House to real life. And then again, American Born does watch Summer House and mentioned that, you know, some of the people that they could have had on there, like Carl, Mia, I'd like to see KJ. So if we're going to follow them to the city, let's follow more of the cast members to the city. The ones that they added, Yvonne, Snooze Fest, her husband, Nick, Snooze Fest. Yvonne was away in San Diego for days and Nick didn't even know it. Production had to tell him. The dog didn't even care. So let's see. They gave a little syllabus. Summer House episodes to watch before in the city. I didn't do any of this homework, y'all. I didn't know about it. So season 1, episode 1, that's the pilot. Season 3, episode 9, Kyle delivers one of his memorable lines during an argument with Amanda. Summer should be fun. Amanda, not fun. So Kyle, you sitting up here chuckling it up, giggling from ear to ear now. Kyle proposes to Amanda on a sunset sailboat ride. That was season 3, episode 14. Again, y'all know I think she outwit, outplayed, outlasted. Season 5, episode 10, a fight with then boyfriend Steven. Lindsay famously asked, how many sandwiches have you made for me? Season 6, episode 10. Andreas realized he's still in love with his ex, Lexi. Now they have gotten married. They have a summer wedding. And Kyle and Amanda's wedding, season 6, episode 15. I won't be going back to watch that mess. That is too much. Okay, let's see if there's anything else from Bravo before we end this. All right, I think they had update on Fan Fest. If I can find that, that might be something good to look at. Now, I have a good idea from you, American Born. Go to Leave Us a couple of the spots and take some pictures. I will not be buying a table or anything like that, but I can do that because I do plan to be in Charleston for that weekend. They start on Thursday, actually, so it'll be a long weekend. All right, let me see. The McBees are coming back. I saw those guys. They're cute guys. But I didn't do any of their panels. I haven't seen one episode of their show. I didn't know they were on season 3, y'all. I thought they were still new. I thought they were still rookies. I thought they had just a season under their belt. So they're coming back. Let me see. I don't see anything else about Fan Fest. I think that might be on something else. Let me see something. No, that's showing the shows. All right, everybody. I think this is a pretty good place to end. They have some more stuff on West, and I don't really care about West like that. I don't like him enough. Oh, Tom Schwartz, if you watched The Valley and you watched Vanderpump Rules. Tom is closing. So that's the end of a chapter. I hope these people saving some of their money that they were doing. And then West, for some reason, they're talking about that wedding. We don't care. Now, RHOC, they got Big Mouth Vicky back. I can't take it, y'all. I used to like Vicky back in the day. I haven't made a decision on Orange County. I don't know if I can deal with those ladies, even though Tamra Judge is my beginning and ending, but mainly because it's the baby and she says, that's my opinion. Other than that, I can't really take them. I don't know. And we didn't talk about this. The Summer House reunion leak, it was Jennifer Lawrence that actually figured it out. So I wanted to know who leaked it. That's what I wanted to know. So I wonder if let's see. She is an Academy Award winner. She was in the movie, I think, where she had, no, that was Jolie. Somebody had mental problems or something. I don't think that was her Academy Award winning role. Let's see. So they had rap. And they did a lot of protection, I think, of Amanda, because I heard some of those leaks and Amanda was being very nasty to Sierra, nastier than she was. Other than the foul language, she was very sarcastic and eye rolling and what about me and that kind of stuff. But they know they still needed us to watch her on In the City, so they didn't show us how terrible she was. Okay, so that pretty much is it. Andy looks good there. Jennifer Lawrence. And that's at bravo.com. Enough of them. I've had enough of them. Y'all, again, this was a mid-episode. Nobody loved it. 2 people that watched it, Sharon Gobble and American Born, gave it 5s. I, out of pity, gave it a 7. I wanted to give it a 6. So that is still a failing score. We don't care, sir. Sweating out your suit. Yes, Wes was over there with, oh my God, just sweat. And he had 4 sweat guards on. Well, no, he had 4 sweat guards at the reunion. I don't know how many he had on at Italy, but that sweat was coming on through his back. It was disgusting. Drop Amanda from both shows. AB, I'm with that. It wouldn't bother me at all. She's not needed. I think she only held on because of Kyle. And then when Sierra came on, her friendship with Sierra was engaging and fun to watch, but not really, but fun enough. Yeah, Bailey, KJ, and Dara would have been more interesting. I think so too, AB. I think we're going to see some shakeups on In the City if it comes back. You might catch some of the kids there at Leavers. Yeah, I think so too, AB. Mia and Brad, I haven't watched the last part, but I heard that Lake, I'm kind of iffy with Lake. Lake needs to have her mother sit down and give her some more talks about how to conduct herself on a show like this. I don't know how she could be friends with the likes of an Emmy. I didn't like TJ season 1. TJ had to grow on me. And now TJ has matured. I like TJ a lot more. Brad could be a little sickening, but Brad has always been who Brad is. I don't like Emmy and how she handles him. I find Emmy to be a Karen and a dangerous one at that. You might, okay. So yeah, Leva, I had to put some money in Leva and Lamar's pocket. I tried watching McBee's. I didn't care for them. Yeah, American Born, they're good looking enough. I've seen them like in passing, but not enough for me to even be interested. I fell off with the RHOC as well. Yeah, Real Housewives of Orange County, y'all. I don't know about that. Now, Beverly Hills, I'll pick them back up. And of course, the usual suspects, Potomac, even though I'm kind of cringing and dreading what they're going to do this year with poor Dr. Wendy. You're going to get it, Dr. Wendy, because Rob is back. Emmy is a Karen. 100. She is 100%. She gave a long apology, really just reading a definition. Now, I heard rumors that Lake's mom might have drafted the apology. That doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't seem like the woman seems that way to me. I know the area of where their house is. It's very close. They're on a lake very close to here. They have money and they have a great reputation, but Lake, I don't know. Some of these kids, when they're raised in money, they don't know how to act around certain people. I'll just leave it at that. Because Lake, I can't believe how she's conducting herself. The Green Eye Bandits are back. They are American Born. People love to watch them, even if it's hate watch. They are back. So I'll be there. I'll be watching. I'll be reviewing. And y'all, we are right little over an hour. So thank all of you for joining me for this live update of In the City, and then updates for the updates. And then I'll get together the extras for Bravo, the other things that have come up. And I will see all of you in the YouTube streets. Thank you so much for joining me, and enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody. Bye.
I don't think that he's good for you.
How do you know what's good for me? That's my opinion! Don't you get it? Why can't anybody have an opinion but you?
That I don't think that he's good. That I